So about 5 or 6 months ago, my father was having some irritation in his right eye. His eye was tearing up and it was burning him and itching. And he went to see a doctor in Brooklyn. He gave him eye drops, and that was about a month or two. It continued, an irritation, itching, burning, seeing blurry. He went to another doctor, he got antibiotic. He just kept going to doctors and getting himself antibiotics and eye drops and over-the-counter things. And then one day, it was like a Tuesday afternoon, my mom calls me and she tells me, your father has to go see an eye doctor in the city. So if you're from Brooklyn and you're going to see a doctor in the city, Manhattan, that's a big deal. So they go to the doctor, and at this appointment is the first time my mom starts hearing that my father can't see out of his right eye. He has blurry vision, he sees shadows, and he can't see. So now my mom's on the phone with me every 3 seconds. That's the frequency of the phone calls to update me, because I'm hysterical in Montreal. And then the doctor at one point flashes a light in my father's eye, and he tells him, raise your hand when you see the light. So the light is here, and he's flashing the light, and my father's not raising his hand. And my mom is like, Eli, raise your hand. And my father's like, but I don't see anything. And my father's head is like in this helmet, whatever, and the doctor, he couldn't see my mom or the doctor, and the doctor looks at my mom and he goes like this. And the doctor goes to my father, I want you to go across the street, NYU hospital, you're gonna go to the emergency room and you're gonna get an MRI of your brain. So they go into the ER and they're in the ER, and my mom's on the phone with me and she's like, I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't look good. They take him in for an MRI. The neurosurgeon resident comes out and she tells my mother, I'm so sorry. He has a tumor in his entire brain. My mom did the hand motion for me, so I could mimic it. His entire brain, he has a tumor in his brain, and it's cancer. And we're gonna admit him into the hospital tonight, and we'll do surgery in the next few days. And my mother is like, okay, 1 second. And she looks at the doctor, she's like, but how do you know it's cancer? You didn't do a biopsy, you didn't do what are you saying? The size and the growth, and it's cancer. So at this point, my mother was like, well, can you get the neurosurgeon down here? You're a resident, with all due respect, he's in surgery, he can't come down, but we can give you an appointment. If you don't want to stay in the hospital, you can see him outpatient, you can see him in his office on Wednesday. So it's Thursday, we're gonna see the doctor Wednesday. So they leave the hospital, my brother comes to pick them up, it's just mass hysteria. That Thursday night was just, there's no words to explain the night we had. And then Friday morning, me and my husband woke up, we drove to New York. And on the way in the car, I look at my husband, I said, we're going to Queens. He said, okay. So we went to the Ohel Street, and I didn't even have words really. I just stood there and I just looked, I stood in the back of the kever and I was like kissing the stone, and I was just like, you know it has to be done, you know. There was no words, I couldn't even speak. We get to my parents, it was not a good Shabbat, I could say. We tried to make it happy, and my niece and nephew were there. It was very difficult because this thing is looming over our heads and we don't know. Sunday morning, we go to the Ohel, me, my husband, my mother, my father, and we go in and we pray and we come out. And me and my dad are sitting on the bench in front of the sink. There's a huge picture of the Rebbe by the sink where you wash. And my father looks at the picture and he's like, Rebbe, you know me. I used to come to you for dollars. You know me. Ata mekir oti in Hebrew. You know me. I used to come to you. So help me. It was so innocent, and it was so just like not reading a book, just natural. It was so natural. Like you're talking to your friend, like you're talking to your father, like he's talking to his Abba, And that's it. We went home Sunday. We spent the day together. Monday, Tuesday, again, emotions of Wednesday, we go see the doctor, we sit down, and the doctor walks in, and he tells us, okay, so it's not life-threatening, it's not cancer, it's not a brain tumor. I look at my mom, and she's like, and we're looking like for a hidden camera, is there a camera? And my dad's like, and we all just stood there like, and he's like, we're not even gonna do surgery. What? It's a benign growth in the meniscus of the brain, which is between the brain and the skull and behind the sinuses. So it's not a brain tumor that goes in the brain like tentacles. It's on top of the brain. It's not cancer. It's a benign growth. We're going to do radiation for 5 weeks, and he'll be fine.